Good Friday morning, Caleb. It is Friday, August the 7th. And, yeah, boy, what are we doing? Looking at Leica lenses again. Oh my God, why? Why can't I stay away? Anyway, as you know, I shoot on the Leica SL2S, usually in RAW via HDMI out to an Atomos Ninja recorder. It's a pretty good system. I like it a lot. One quirk of the system, the SL2S anyway, is that you're limited to a crop sensor mode, essentially an APS-C sized sensor area or Super 35 sensor area. So using full-sized SL lenses on the SL2S when you're recording RAW isn't a waste, but you're just using the center portion of the image because those are full frame lenses. But Leica also makes, or used to make, L-mount lenses called TL lenses. I actually have, thought I had it on my desk, but I must have put it away. Just cleaning up the place a little bit, and wouldn't you know it, came back to bite me. But no, I have I've had for a few years the Leica 35 millimeter TL lens, which is a very beautiful lens. It's a 35 millimeter f1.4 Similux lens. Similux TL. Yeah, this one right here. Imagine if I would there we go. So yeah, it's a relatively compact lens, but a pretty big lens actually for an APS-C lens. This is the old CL camera that they sadly do not make anymore, which was an APS-C size sensor. Yeah. Beautiful little lens, really sharp, really gorgeous rendering, a little bit of chromatic aberration, but yeah, you can find them used pretty easily, pretty normally. But with this one here, as you can see, an 11 to 23, it's quite wide, not extremely fast with an f3.5 to 4.5, but it's a zoom, you know, so that's what happens. But I'd have my eye on one of these guys for quite some time because currently the widest lens that I had for my SL2 was my 24 to 70, so 24 millimeters at an APS-C crop isn't really all that wide, right? And yeah, when you're in a small space like this room and you're not shooting on your phone, wider tends to help out a whole lot. So these, you can usually find them running used for about $1,200 for a nice one. I'd had my eye on a few that I've been keeping an eye on, watching and stuff. Leica Store Miami had one for $10.95 show up, and I thought, wow, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good deal. I had a little bit of money saved up anyway that I was trying to keep saving and not spend. But man, I thought, oh, $10.95, that's a good price, because from most of the other places you get like KEH or MPB, you're just getting the lens. It might be not in the best condition, not always have all the accessories like hoods and caps even sometimes. But yeah, which is, you know, I've bought lenses from both those places, used, NB&H, and I usually say, you know, buy your used lenses, especially expensive ones like Leica, at a reputable dealer where you can get a good return. If it turns out not to be what you want, or not work that well, or not in the condition you'd hoped. But anyway, yeah, which all brings me back to Leica Store Miami. The other day sends me an email and they're like, oh, we're having our summer sale. So this little 11 to 23 that I'd had my eye on got knocked down $200. So we're talking $8.95 now. $8.95. Boy, that was going to be hard to resist. So naturally, I did not resist it, sadly, but not sadly. So here it is. Here's my 11 to 23 that I just bought from Leica Store Miami, and it, as you can see, balances really nicely on the SL2S. You can see a nice big glass optic because it's a wide lens. What's interesting is the zoom is at 23, it's most compact, and then when you zoom out to 11, it sticks out a little bit. But at 11, it's 3.5 f3.5, and then at there we go. At 23, we dropped down to f4.5. But so yeah, I have not shot any video with it yet. I've only had a day or two. But I went out and shot a bunch of still photos around town. And on this 24 megapixel sensor, when you shoot a stills, or when you shoot stills with a crop sensor camera like this one, then it drops down to like 10.3 megapixels. Still perfectly usable. It's not like I'm printing them, you know, not like I can share them online. I just use them in Resolve and then put them in my camera roll. But as you can see, it's not too bulbous of an optic. Like, you can still put... Oof, this thing's pretty tight. The thing is in like brand new condition. It came with the original box and everything. But yeah, it's got a little bit of a protruding front glass element, but it still accepts filters. This one even came with a UV filter, not a Leica branded one, sadly, but B&W, I believe it was. I just left it in the box. I didn't use it. I'm not going to use it. But what I'm going to use is an adapter to just a step-up ring, 67 millimeter thread size here, to 82, which is what my other filters were. So like my variable ND and my circular polarizer filter will be, yeah, the 82 mil. So anyway, that's fun. It's cute, right? Man, it is cute. It's like brand new. Love it. Just, it's made in Japan, you know, so it's probably the Leica's manufacturing partner, Sigma, but they don't specify. I don't think the lens is a copy of another existing lens like Leica sometimes will do with Sigmas, but I think it's an original design. I haven't really found much information on it. Not a lot of reviews on the internet of it, or YouTube anyway. So in a little bit, once I get more experience with it, I'm definitely going to put out a review of it. But let's look at some pictures. So here we have a nice view of the smoky skies outside my house. Really gross. Right here at sunset. Pretty cool. As you can see, it's a nice sharp lens. I'm pretty impressed with that. One thing it does do is a lot of distortion, a lot of lens distortion. Not a ton actually, but you can see there's a little bit. You can kind of see the corners starting to vignette out, which you don't see on the in camera. So in camera is correcting a little bit, but of course the raw files, when you put them into Resolve, is not correcting. So I've been using this lens distortion and just kind of dialing it into taste to kind of fix a little bit of the distortion. Just my normal convoluted edit here. But yeah, some fun stuff. I didn't increase, you know, I didn't mess around with the color at all. This is just putting a ton of color just right out of the camera, which is pretty cool. That one doesn't look so good, but you know. This is just me walking around last night, walking down to the store to grab some beverages. But that was the store. Drive and brew, drive-through beer, yeah. But yeah. Definitely nothing, you know, these aren't great images at all, but just an example of what you get from a 10 megapixel raw file and some editing in Resolve. Kind of neat. Having a super wide, because I guess 11 to 23 would be the equivalent in full frame of like a 16 to 35. So that's, I guess, not crazy wide, but it's considered a super wide, I would think. Yeah. It's fun. Get real close to stuff like that, and get right up in the business. But yeah, the skies lately have just been so gross and smoky. Doesn't look as badly hazy here as it does in actual life, but yeah, pretty gross out there. But anyway, yeah, that is pretty much all I've done this week is mess around with new lenses. Hoping to get some video shot with it soon and see what the raw video, I would imagine, will have some lens distortion as well. But as you can see, it's pretty easy fix in Resolve here with their little lens distortion node. This is one of the lens distortion. It's just one of the little VFXs, or one of the little effects that are available in the effects library. Me over here up in the effects library. So lens distortion, I've got the fine tune adjustment, and then you can just kind of like play around with it. But as you can see, it's real, I won't say real subtle, but it's not a ton. I've probably got a little bit more distortion on here than this one actually needs. If we just go down to where we're just getting that vignette shadow out, we're looking at, something like, I don't know, something like that. But yeah, wide angle lenses, man. I forgot to turn on keep recording on top. Oh well. Anyways, that is pretty much it today. Not a ton of interestingness, but yeah, crop sensor lenses on a full frame camera, kind of cool because it gives you a whole other like range, I guess. It gives you some options. It would be like if you had a full frame Nikon putting a DX lens on it, it automatically won't let you go out of the DX mode. But yeah, it's perfectly good. Anyway, I'm loving it. So that's all for me today. Nice small compact. It's still a heavy system because it's just a big chunk of aluminum, this camera, but nicely balanced. So have a good week. Get out there and shoot some photos or videos, and I'll hopefully try to do the same, and I will talk to you next week. Have a good one. Bye.